objections, we are going to record the session and transcribe it just so we can be sure to follow up accurately later. So let's get started. Thank you to everyone for joining the final session in our Amberjack Early Careers Expert Series. So this is the last session focusing on attraction. My name is Maddie Boardman. I'm the Attraction Campaign Manager here at Amberjack. Amberjack, as many of you will already know, is a leading provider of RPO services in the early careers sector, with expertise across attraction, assessment, candidate management, technology, and learning and development. Today, I'm joined with Madeline, Head of Partnerships, and William, Customer Success Manager, both from Adway. I'll give them the opportunity to introduce themselves a little bit more in a moment. In last week's session, we took a look at how you can use data to analyse your early careers attraction campaigns to improve and evolve your attraction strategies. And throughout the series, we've touched on social media in various ways, but today we're going to be fully focused on how you can revolutionise paid social media for better targeting in early careers recruitment. This is designed to be a short session over lunch, so hopefully everyone's brought something with them. We will have time at the end of the session for Q&As. So if you do have any questions, please just pop them into the chat as we go along. If we can't answer them all at the end, then we'll make sure to include them in our 6 at 6 follow-up, which everyone will receive a copy of. So let's start off by clearing up a really common question when it comes to social media. What's the difference between paid and organic social media? To put it simply, organic socials is everything that you post for free. Think Instagram Reels, LinkedIn updates, day in the life TikToks, all of the content that you're probably already sharing. It's great for brand awareness, storytelling, and showing your brand's personality. The problem with organic is that reach is very limited. So the platforms that you're using, they aren't going to show your posts to everyone that follows you, let alone the thousands of students and graduates that you're looking to engage with that you don't yet. But that's where paid social comes in. So with paid social, you're investing budget to promote content directly into the feeds of your ideal audience. You can reach school leavers in specific postcodes, women in STEM, or graduates that have shown interest in tech careers. It gives you the control, the scalability, and the visibility beyond your followers. So what's the importance in using both? Organic and paid both serve different but complementary purposes. Think of organic as your shop window. It's where people go to explore once they've already noticed you. It's reinforcing your brand. Paid is what gets them to look in the first place. It drives the first moment of awareness. It gets people clicking on your content. It gets them visiting your website, maybe even following your pages. The organic content is there to keep them warm and keep them engaged. In early careers attraction, the combination of the two is so important. Most of the people that you're trying to reach probably don't even know that you're hiring. Paid social media is the tool that cuts through that and just says like, hey, we've got something that you're going to love. So we usually think of paid social media in 3 different essentially buckets. So pre-application campaigns, short-term activations, and then evergreen campaigns. So I'll start off with pre-application campaigns. These are your awareness building campaigns. They usually go live just before your roles open, and essentially the goal of these is to plant the seed early. They're great for harder to fill roles or if you're introducing new schemes. Because you're not only competing on the jobs, but you're competing for the attention, and that's what those campaigns are here to do. Short-term activations are your we're live, come apply now moments. So paid adverts during this phase are great for boosting traffic to your application pages, retargeting people who've already engaged, and then pushing an urgency before a deadline to implement, sorry, I completely lost my words, pushing urgency before a deadline to help push the pipeline. And then the last one, evergreen campaigns. So these are your always on content. You don't need to spend huge budgets, which is usually what people think, but a small rolling budget throughout a longer period can help you stay visible. It helps with that brand awareness piece, can help build talent pools and then shift perceptions over time. To kind of summarize everything that I've just said, organic shows your story, paid gets the right people to see it. So using them together is really important. It gives you a strategy that not only reaches the right talent, but actually resonates with them. So I've just blurted a whole lot of information out. I'm now going to pass over to Madeline. She's going to talk through who Adway are, give you a little bit more of an insight into paid social and why it's different to sponsoring normal posts. So take it away, Madeline.
Thank you, Maddie. And really nice to meet you, all of you. My name is Madeleine Eneroth, and I work as Head of Partnerships at Adway. Really happy to be here today and talk a bit about what we do and why we believe in paid social as a way of reaching untapped talent. See here. So yes, just a quick background. Adway, we're a Swedish-funded HR tech company, but we operate globally, and we help employers connect with the right talent faster through automated social recruiting. And with social recruiting, we focus on the paid ads, as Maddie's mentioned, and it's a new approach that taps into actually 4.9 billion people that spend hours each day on social media. In the UK today, which I'm guessing most of you maybe are located or listening in today, 98% of everyone 13 or older are on social media, and with an average time of spending there of about like 1 hour and 37 minutes every day. So we are spending a lot of time just scrolling on our phones. And what we do is basically using this to connect companies with high quality talent, transforming how businesses find, engage, and hire. It's about reaching passive talent before they even start searching. And as you can see on the screen here, today already many of the biggest companies out there trust Adway to stay competitive in a fast-moving recruitment market, relying on our technology to attract, engage, and convert the best talent. So how do we actually do this? And what makes our approach different from like traditional recruitment methods? Well, Adway uses AI and precision targeting to reach the right candidates at the right time. And this means reducing manual processes and costs while increasing quality of hire. Because we know what we want right now is obviously higher quality of the candidates getting in and quality of hire. So what we do is that we simplify and we optimize the entire candidate journey from the first seeing a social ad to the final application. And we work with mobile first and in-feed experience, smart automation. We keep talent engaged and also moving forward in the funnel seamlessly. So what we do is that we use something we call social apply, where candidates, when they've seen your social job ad or evergreen campaign on social media, they can actually apply within seconds without leaving their Facebook or Instagram or TikTok field. And then they can also go on, and we use something called smart scorecard, which basically ensures that recruiter instantly can see which is the most relevant profile and get them ranked and prioritized for action. And this approach focusing on finding not just more candidates, but actually the right ones. Those who are a perfect fit, even if they're not actively out there looking to a job. Just when they're out, they're on the bus, they're on the metro, they're scrolling their phones. And that's when they can see your brand, your job ads, right where they are spending their time. Well, this is also a lot of very high level things talking about what we do and how it works. But of course, I understand you want some actual real life results, like what have we actually done. So I'm actually going to hand over now to William for some real life example of how we have helped some clients to actually reach those candidates and get results in real time.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. My name is William Sesford. I work as a customer success manager at Adway. So my primary role is we're working very closely with our clients to make sure that not only the software is working in the best possible way, but also when you look at building strategies and how we can basically leverage the software to its biggest potential. And the slide that we're looking at now is a case where, together with Amberjack, we've been working with Octopus Energy, which is one of a rapid growing energy provider in the UK. And what we've done is that we've leveraged this technology to over 130 jobs. And as you can see to the left side, this is accumulated to an average increase per job that's gone out via Adway, increased application averages to 26%. But more importantly, not just in volume, but when it comes to quality, we can also see that we've increased the number of average candidates offered, so an offer made, by 2.5 times. So even if we see an increase in applications, we see a bigger increase when it comes to actual offered candidates and the quality that follows. And this is also despite being a very competitive landscape. The quality has always been in the central role. And by providing the right candidates faster, this also allows Octopus to fill their roles faster, which is very important. So this demonstrates both in a rapid scaling, but also maintaining a high hiring standard. But it's not just about speed. It's not just about volume and scale. It's also about diversity and inclusion. So Madeline, if you want to change to the next slide. Okay, thank you. So to Maddie's point, there's two sort of sides of this. It's both when it comes to the hiring, but it's also about your employer value propositions, about your culture, about your company in general. And we have another case here where we've been working with a company called Peab. And Peab it's a Nordic company, so not maybe everyone knows about it, but it's very, very big in the Nordics. It's one of the largest construction and civil engineering companies within the Nordics. And what we did together with them was that we basically worked together with them for what they call the campaign called Construction Year. So the main target here was to get more women into construction roles, so the construction industry. And using the programmatic targeting that we offer, as well as the automatic nurturing, this helped them to reach a more diverse talent pool that traditional media sometimes misses, because you also have to communicate these roles and nurture over time. So it's not just a one-time thing, it's basically building like an ecosystem when you do these type of campaigns. And by communicating their employer value propositions to the right audience, they actually received 91% female applications for this initiative that they ran together with us. And I think this highlights the way that Adway can support in building inclusive teams and achieving higher, exceptional hiring standards, but also maintaining your diversity and inclusion goals. So it could be different type of initiatives that you want to run. So in summary, even though Adway is a great software or technology in itself, it's a smarter way, a smarter tool to make essentially your hires, because it helps to both find, attract, but then also convert, which leads to then better, faster, and more precise targeting and, of course, hires made.
Oh. Sorry, Maddie, mute.
Sorry. Cool, thank you, Will. We're running ever so slightly ahead of time, but I can see a few questions popping up in the chat, specifically one from Keris. If I pop back to the Octopus slide, Will, would you just mind explaining where these numbers come from? So just a bit of background, Octopus didn't create more roles to offer on these, so it'd probably be nice just to explain kind of how you guys dig into that data a little bit more.
Of course. So what we've done is what we call an ATS analysis, but what we look at is the averages. We benchmark how the candidate flow looked before, so essentially non-social media sponsored roles. And then we look at when we've done a big volume of roles and then compare those with each other. That's why we're looking at the averages. So we basically break down what is the average amount of applications, what is the average amount of steps that the candidates move in the ATS, so different sort of hiring processes. And in this case, we did it all the way into contract made, contract sent, as well as offered. So the last step in that recruitment process. And that's where we could see then that there were more candidates with the states going into offered or contract sent, as well as seeing an average increase of applications in general. So we benchmark all the previous roles that they had, and then we went live with social media, and then we can see the results, which is in pink in the slide here.
Madeline, I can see you talking, but you're on mute as well.
Sorry, I did the same thing as you.
I know.
It's in the name. Yeah, I just want to say like one really interesting thing about this is obviously we know that a lot of you out there, we know a lot of like recruiters are faced with there's so many applications coming in right now. They're like overflowing with applications, and maybe the most important thing to find out is not just more applications, but actually spending time on the right applications. So what we can see here, yes, the application volume goes up, but if we look at percentages, it's actually the quality of the applications that goes up most. So it's not like using paid social, it's not just getting more irrelevant candidates applying, it's actually increasing the quality of the applications as well. So I think that's very an important thing to just keep in mind.
Thank you, guys. Let me stop sharing and we can take a look at some of the questions that we've had in the chat. So I'll start off at the top with Emmanuel's question. Which social platforms currently offer the best ROI for paid social? Are there any emerging channels we should be watching? This is probably best for you, Madeline. I know we were just talking about emerging channels the other day. But yeah, I'll hand over to you for that one.
Sure. The very boring answer, and we've been running so many tests in basically all different industries, and the answer is you get best ROI from Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram. I'm guessing that's not what you want to hear. You want to hear is like this really cool new thing that is best, but actually it is Facebook and Instagram across all. What we are seeing really is emerging though, and is working better and better, is TikTok. And we can see that TikTok actually gives good ROI if you're searching for like early careers. So it works, but what we usually see is best is if you use different platforms together. So what we can do is basically we can use the traffic and the engagement on TikTok, and we can take that in and basically retarget on Instagram. We can do the other way around. So basically what we want to do is that we want to paint those like interesting candidates, the candidates that have engaged but not yet applied, like paint their socials in the colors of your company basically during the time. So it's like a smarter way to do it. So we usually don't say just do one, do more, but depending on, but always include Meta because you get the best ROI out of Meta.
Yeah, I think that completely replicates what we see in organic as well. There's so many platforms out there and we're just constantly use Meta. That's the best going at the moment, especially when it comes to early careers. So thank you for that. We've also got a question from Freya. So how would you make a post stand out to candidates on their busy social media feeds, especially for early careers where younger people typically have a shorter attention span? We've spoken about creatives so much with all of the clients that we use, but if you had kind of like top 3 tips for that, what would you guys go to?
Basically, I would say keep it simple. Like really, like the CTA needs to be clear. Like, what do you want the person that's viewing this to do? Do you want them to read more? Do you want them to apply? Like, because if you're making like more of a confusing, it might be good content, but if it's not clear what the potential candidate is supposed to do, they probably won't do it because they're not mind readers. So I think that's very clear. Otherwise, like really simple stuff, like use people in the images, use real people, and show something that actually looks like genuine. Don't try to make it look better than it actually is. I think like genuine content is really important. Do you have anything to add, Will?
Yeah, to that point, actually, we sort of call that sort of testimonials almost. So to Maddie's point, having real people talking about sort of your EVPs from their perspective, because it builds trustworthiness, and that often sticks out from on social media, because a lot of content is quite commercial, quite sort of static, and that makes it more real, and it also fits the flow of when they go through social media. So that's a great way to stand out and build trustworthiness. But very much to Madeline's point as well, a clear call to action increases both clicks, but also going into conversion, because it gives the candidate or the potential candidate an action to do. Because when you go through the flow, you're almost sort of in this sort of scroll flow. You want them to capture that, and if it's too much information in one sort of post, it's easy to just scroll by. So rather have that later down the funnel and keep the awareness quite simple.
No, that's great. I think there's so much you can pull from what you do on organic into paid. So we just across all of our clients, we do find that the like more authentic, genuine content is what resonates the best. So pulling that back through into the paid side is definitely probably my top tip for that. We have another question from Emmanuel, more about the data side. So I'll probably throw this over to you, Will. But how granular can we get with the targeting? E.g., can we target specific degree disciplines, STEM students, etc.?
Yes, so it can differ a little bit from different platforms. I think what we're talking about there is something called detailed targeting, where you have very, very specific metrics on what kind of people that you're looking for or profiles that you're looking for. There is sort of a backside to using detailed targeting, which is that when you have a very, very specific targeting on who you are looking for, it limits all the other people out there that are very much suitable for applying for such a role. So if it's a specific, let's say specific university, that means that all the other universities are discarded. It could be someone who has maybe changed career path after doing a degree in something and then moved to another area. So what we do is basically work with programmatic advertising instead. So we build these talent pools that builds on people who are applying for the jobs, people who are relevant for the jobs, people that are moved over further down the funnel, and basically build the advertising based on that and build that persona, which is going technical, but about 40,000 different data points that you build a persona on. So it's very intricate. And that's how we make sure that the targeting becomes better over time, but also becomes very, very good, because it finds people that are not necessarily exactly within that window, but it's actually a really, really good fit for that role. So you basically find more potential candidates that are right for you.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you. I think that also answers the question that Carlin's just popped in the chat about the algorithm as well. I think off the back of her question, hopefully you can see it in the chat. Is there anything you'd add to that, or?
On the like how do we know we reach the right people? So basically, yes, our like we work together with the algorithms on the social media. So we put in everything we know, and then we use the algorithms on social media. Just as William explained, there's so many data points up there. That's also why Meta works the best, because everyone been on Meta for so long, so they know basically everything about you. But basically, yeah, like by using the right content, we can make sure that you are reaching the right people, and the algorithm gets smarter over time. So if you are doing like what you talked about, like evergreen campaigns, or if you're doing multiple like shorter campaigns, like the algorithm also learns what kind of like people you are looking for. So when you do like your first social media campaign, it will still find the right people. You just take a little bit more time. And then over time, it will get smarter and make sure it actually targets the right people faster. And that's why it's so good to actually like utilizing like our way or Amberjack in this case, because we can actually save those people, like the people that engage but don't apply. So we can re-engage them instead of just like throwing social media ads out there and hope for the best.
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much. I've seen a few more questions pop through, but I don't think we've got time for any more. We'll make sure to add any questions that we haven't answered, as well as ones that we have run through onto our 666 takeaways. So just keep an eye out for those. Big thank you to everyone that has joined us today. Hopefully you can take away some inspiration about how you might use socials in your own future attraction campaigns. And also a huge thank you to Madeline and Will from Adway for joining me. I couldn't have done it without you. Definitely don't have the expertise that you guys do, diving into the detail. So yeah, huge thank you to you guys. Just a quick reminder to everyone, you will receive the key takeaways from us later this afternoon. We'll email them over. There is also an associated blog all about paid social media going out, which we will share on the takeaways as well. I also just wanted to say a big thank you to everyone that has joined us, not just today, but across the entire 7 sessions that we have run. We hope that we've equipped everyone, if you have joined us for those sessions, with some new insights and some hints and tips that you can take forward into any future attraction campaigns. If you would like to connect with anyone from the series, not just this session, but from the entire 7 sessions that we have run, and don't have their details, or you want a little bit more information on any particular subject, or just want to explore how the Amberjack attraction team can support you on your next campaign, then please do reach out. There are contact details on the final 6 at 6 that is coming out this evening via email. So just reach out. We're always here to answer any questions, have a quick chat, or help you out in any way. So yeah, a final goodbye from all of us at Amberjack. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us again, and hope you enjoyed the session.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much.